Most men's marriage are failing because they actually have a leadership issue. It's their lack of leadership that causes divorce. It's their lack of leadership that causes them to be unhappy. It's their lack of leadership that causes issues in their marriage. That's just the reality of it. Men who lack leadership ultimately lack happiness. They tend to lack financial development. They tend to lack relationship with Christ. They tend to lack on their goals and dreams, physical fitness. I mean, you name it, pretty much every single negative area in somebody's life can be attributed to lack of leadership, whether it's leading themselves or the people around them. Um, we could take a look at the book of Genesis and figure out where the lack of leadership came from. See, Adam, in my opinion, is one of the biggest cowards in the Bible. See, he had everything that he wanted, and he still reached for more. He was in paradise. He literally had a perfect relationship with God. He had a beautiful relationship with his wife. He had purpose. He had no lack. There was nothing that he felt like he needed and didn't have. And he was still looking for more. Now, you might say, well, you know what? It wasn't really him, it was his wife. And you know what? I completely agree with you, right? So let's turn our attention to his bride here. See, one day Eve is in the garden and she's just enjoying time. I would like to believe that her favorite animal in the garden was probably the serpents. She loved the snakes, right? And this is before snakes had this, bad rap, right? They were just beautiful creatures to her. And the devil used one of those creatures to really be able to speak to her and to get her to ultimately create the fall of man. So what he did was he said, did God really tell you that you would surely die if you ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? And of course, she says, sure, yeah, of course. Like that's what he said. And so the serpent says, well, no, it's just because you'll be more like him. So she was easily deceived. Now, Adam, here's the lack of leadership. She presented the idea to him, said, this is what we should do. And instead of him saying, no, you dumb woman, that's not what we're going to do, he says, okay, babe, yeah, whatever you say. Uh huh. And ends up eating this apple with his wife, creating the issue. Boom. He did the one thing, ate from the one tree that he was commanded not to eat from. But that's not even really where the major issues stem from. See, the real issue stems from the fact that God ultimately came up to them after they were hidden, after they had, covered themselves up. And he asks a simple question. He says, what have you done? See, if you think back at this moment here, Adam has a choice. He's got a decision that he can make. He could either take ownership and accountability and repent, or he can blame. What does he do? Well, he blames. What he does is he says to God, it's the woman that you gave me. It's the woman that you gave me. So he blames the woman and he blames God simultaneously. Imagine that. Right. And so now we have this scenario, this situation where you have no accountability. Not only did you not lead your wife as you were commanded to, but then you also lacked character. He turns to the wife and says, what did you do? And she blames the serpent. So it becomes in this human nature, this fall of man, to be shameful, covering their bodies, to be liars, to be deceivers, right? They weren't deceivers before that point, but now they have a choice to make in these situations. Before, they just were. They were with God. They were one with him. But because of Adam's lack of leadership in allowing his wife to control his decisions, ultimately led him to this outcome, which led to all of our outcome like this, to live a life where we're constantly fighting for our food. We're constantly fighting for what we feel like we deserve. We're constantly fighting for, what God wanted us to have with no effort. We now need to put all the effort into building a relationship with him and existing in this life, right? And so how does this relate to your life? Well, let's think about your personal life. Let's think about your physical fitness or lack thereof. Let's think about your spiritual fitness. Let's think about your financial situation. Let's think about your careers, your jobs, your relationships. All of these things require leadership. And a lot of times we do two things that Adam did. We pass the leadership to somebody else. We let our wife take charge. We let sometimes even the kids take charge if they're older kids. We let the boss or somebody else at the job take charge. We don't step into these leadership roles. We let other people to then control our choices, our destiny, because we lack the ability to lead. And then we also blame, and we blame our wife, and we blame our situation, we blame our job, and we blame everyone around us as to why we suck. But the reality is, it's you. You're the problem. And you've always been the problem. And the second you take accountability for your life, the second you stop being like Adam, is the exact moment that you can be alive. It's the exact moment that you can actually get back what you were supposed to have in this world. It's the exact moment where you can actually get to achieve your bigger dreams, the purpose that God truly has for you. We have to do our best to get closer to Him. Seek first the kingdom, and all other things will be granted unto thee. Right? Like, that's our goal. Take leadership and take accountability for your life. If this video is helpful to you to help you understand that biblical story and how that actually applies into everyday life for you and how to fix that situation, hit the subscribe button. If my videos suck, unsubscribe. But it's one small thing that you can do for me that would really help me out, okay? In addition to that, if you guys like this hat, go ahead and check me out. I'll put the description, or the link rather, in the description for this hat where you can go ahead and check it out. And support my channel, right? Support me so I can keep doing this thing. God bless you. Have a great day. Keep crushing it. And remember, take leadership, take accountability. That's the name of the game.